today. So every day we start fresh because we can't affect the past, but we damn sure can make a difference today.
Welcome to episode 39 of Shop Talk. It's Jennifer.
And Kari.
And since we're on hiatus still, and it's Valentine's Day when we're recording this, we decided it would be fun to watch the movie The Ugly Truth with Eric Winter, who makes an appearance in it. It's a fun little rom-com. I've never seen it. What about you?
I've seen this was my fourth time watching it. There was one time, like the first time I watched it, I was blissfully unaware that Eric was in the movie. And then I've since watched it a couple more times, like because he's in the movie. So
yeah. So you have a first time watcher here and then someone who has watched it multiple times. So should be interesting. And just gonna be lighthearted. The movie is on Netflix, so if you want to check it out, go for it. And we're gonna start off with some news first about The Rookie, because there was one little piece of news. Of course, it came out like the day that our last episode dropped. And it's Niecy Nash will be guest starring on The Rookie for a couple of episodes to introduce her character, an LA FBI agent, Simone Clark. She's kind of like the new rookie for the LA FBI, and she'll be helping the team out with an explosion at the local power station on The Rookie. So it's supposed to set up for a possible spinoff, and it'll just have her character at the helm and allow the Rookie universe to expand. I didn't catch this in the article, but I might have missed it. And people were like, so what I'm hearing is there's potential for a Rookie season 5. But I didn't catch that.
I know. I had to go back and like reread the article like 4 times before I caught it. It just said that like it's expected to be renewed for a season 5.
Okay.
And I mean, usually shows don't talk about doing like, the like what's the word? Backdoor pilots, like leading into spinoffs, unless the ratings are good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hopeful. Nothing has been confirmed at all.
No. And the spinoff is not yet titled. So, they're just kind of releasing this to see, what kind of reception it gets. So that should be interesting. And Niecy like tweeted about it and stuff, and she's excited to go and play on the show. So it'll be fun to see. I'm not familiar with Niecy Nash as far as like scripted TV. I've only ever seen her on talk shows. So I'm interested to see her comedy and what she brings to it. So
yeah, I've seen her in some like in guest roles and then like regular roles on like somewhat comedic, like I don't know, like all her shows usually have like a good balance of like comedy and drama.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think she'll fit right in. It'll definitely be interesting if she has scenes with like, obviously I'm assuming she would have scenes with like Nathan's character.
Yeah.
On The Rookie. I feel like that would be kind of fun. So
I hope so. I also thought that I saw somewhere someone said so it's like assumed that we're getting 22 episodes or something. I was like, I don't fully know. Like it's a Deadline article, but they, we just
they had said, can't remember I think someone had like quote tweeted it and said that they were doing 22 episodes. People just like had assumed that it was solely because they got a shorter season last year.
Yeah, but a lot of the shows got shorter seasons last year. So
well, and I don't know, because it's like 20 is usually where they like cap themselves off, like for The Rookie.
Yeah.
And so these like other 2 episodes could possibly be the like these 2 episodes that Niecy Nash's character is in. So
right. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So that's about it for the news. We can dive right on into the movie recap, because why not?
It'll be fun. So in case you guys aren't familiar with it, We're just going to give you like a brief little rundown of it. Synopsis is essentially Abby, who's played by Katherine Heigl, is a like single news producer, and she's paired up with a TV personality named Mike Chadway, who's played by Gerard Butler, and like he is trying to help her get the guy of her dreams, which is Colin Anderson, who's played by Eric Winter, by essentially kind of like following these like steps to prove like what makes men and women like tick. And so it's kind of, it's definitely a romantic comedy. They classified it well. It was released in 2009, and co-starring alongside that trio is Bree Turner, Nick Searcy, Cheryl Hines, and John Michael Higgins. So, yeah.
It was definitely fun to watch, especially before Valentine's Day. And like Gerard Butler's character, at first you're like, oh my God, I do not like him. And then you grow to love him. So,
yeah, definitely. So we both kind of just had some like general thoughts at first while watching the movie. For me anyway, I mean, because like I've seen it a few times before already. So like I don't know, I always, even though I have seen it a few times, it's been a while in between each time. And so for just like as raunchy as the language is and like the innuendos are, I still just appreciate that it is a romantic comedy because like they integrate Gerard Butler's characters, like Mike's feelings in there too. Like you can see it as like time goes on, like he's starting to like Katherine Heigl's character of Abby as more than just his producer, and it's kind of cool to see it like through his eyes, kind of like first. And yeah, I mean it's definitely like funny. Like the movie overall is definitely funny. It has some cute like little moments. You just really have to pay attention to like know where to look.
yeah.
And obviously Eric's a gem in this movie. He can do no wrong in my eyes. So
yeah, so as a first time watcher, I had a few thoughts. So like going in, Kari had told me like, you know, the language is a little much and you know, like the innuendos and stuff, but I was like, how, you know, bad, not bad, but how much can it really be? I remember hearing about this movie when it came out, but I don't know why I didn't watch it. I just guess I didn't. But the soundtrack, like, wow, what a throwback. Like taking us right back to 2009. Like they had Hot and Cold in there by Katy Perry. And I thought that was cool because we had just did like the Spotify playlist thing for Lopez and used Hot and Cold. And then Pocket Full of Sunshine, which is like one of my favorite songs. So, you know, there was just like a lot of like iconic like 2000 songs in there. So that was fun. And yeah, like just a great cast, lots of comedy. I love a good rom-com and I love a good comedy anyway. So it was just really fun to watch. And then I loved Abby's line of looking chaos in the eye and telling it to F off. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's just such a good line. Like it's just timeless, I guess, in a way. I don't know how to best explain it, but like when she had said that and it was my first watch, I was just like, yes, love that. And then of course, like, I don't know, I have to relate everything to today's world. So when they were like talking about like the guy's dating profile, I was like, okay, so this is dating apps, but in 2009, like reading his profile in depth, doing a background check before the date. Like you might not do a background check on it before a date now, but like you can stalk their social media, like if you really wanted to. And reading their profile in depth, definitely like overthinking things. But yeah, it was just like talk about taking preparedness and conversation to a whole new level. Like I don't know. I'm not someone who's like type A. I don't feel like there's some things where I am, but I don't know. With that stuff, I'm just kind of like, if it works, it works. Like, so then
Mhm.
like when she had printed out talking points, like in case there were awkward moments, I was like, oh, Abby. Oh, I mean, I've been on dates where it's been awkward and like, I've been then on the second one too, like just to see. And I've like had talking points on my phone, like in the notes app, but like I don't pull it out like that. I don't know. I just like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just figure it out. But yeah. And then she had like a checklist for what she looks for in guys. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of people do. I know I do, but like it's more of a subconscious thing. I use that checklist like when I'm going through the profile, like on the app. But then
Yeah.
I'm also like, it's not totally accurate. So,
Yeah. She's just very, very direct.
mhm.
Which I don't know. Is like, I mean, it works for the character, but yeah, like you'd said, it's kind of like something like some things she could have just kind of kept to herself
Yeah,
a little bit more.
like she was oversharing and like
Mhm.
divulging a lot of information, which is good, but also like, okay, might want to. This is just the first date, so yeah. Um, yeah, and then when she was watching the ugly truth that Mike was doing at first, like, he was saying men are simple and talking about wanting a relationship and how to get one. And then he's like, at the end of the day, all men are interested in is looks. No one falls in love with personality at first sight. And I don't know, I just thought like, okay, so this is how dating apps are perceived. So like I listened to someone on the local radio program and they're wow, I just sounded like I was like older there on the local radio show. Okay. And like he talks about apps, he's like, it's all like a numbers game. It's who can get the most likes, or it's also like a hot or not game. Like, do you have good pictures on your profile? If not, swipe left. Like, it's all a game, and it's just to see like, okay, who can I match with next, or whatever. So I don't know, I was just like, I was making the comparison and I thought, wow, this is like 12 years later or whatever, like this is still relevant. So
Yeah, well, that's what I was
yeah.
gonna say. Like, just to add on is like it's like an unfortunate like universality like
Mhm.
of like how men perceive women and then how women perceive men. But what I liked about this movie was that they kind of flipped it on its head a little bit. Like each of them, like Mike taught Abby something and Abby taught Mike something as well,
Yeah.
like by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the whole like yeah, men are simple thing and just like I mean, there were some like truth bombs that were like dropped and I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, I kind of forgot like how like uh not I mean not harsh, but just like they just didn't care at first. It
Yeah.
was just like here's all this information like you then just deal with it and then but once Abby kind of deals with it and they like work together, then things kind of become a little bit blurrier and a little
Yeah.
not so cut and dry. So
Well, then, like, I loved at the end, without totally spoiling it, like, she told Eric's character, like, that's who I am, and I'll
mhm,
always be that way. Like, you
yeah.
know, how she was with him was because that's how Mike kind of taught her to be. And she
Mhm,
was like, I can't just give that up. So,
mhm,
yeah, I loved that she like learned something from him and he learned something from him. And I loved the end when she was like, so you're in love with me? And he's like, beats the shit out of me, but I am. And I was just like, oh my god, I love that.
yeah, well, like that was like so I mean like kind of like I
Just
don't
the
know
way he
like
said it too. It was so
yeah, just
good.
yeah, it was like kind of realistic. I mean kind of not because like I would want to know like what about me like if someone but it's like at the same comes at the same time gosh I already can't speak because they are so different like the characters it's like
Yeah.
it really is kind of like an opposites attract or
Hmm.
like what's that other trope enemies to lovers kind of
Yeah.
thing and so it's kind of like they originally spent so much time like butting heads, it's like they didn't really realize like how much they actually liked about the other until
Yeah.
way later. So
Yeah. I don't know. The sexual tension between them, like throughout the entire movie, was just great. Like even from like the first time that we meet like Gerard Butler's character, it was just like you could tell. I mean, all they done was talk over the phone, but like you could tell that there was still some like I have to one up you, or just the sexual tension there. So I don't know. I just love a good like I guess it is enemies to lovers trope, or like
yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and then I mean, like I said before, like Kari had told me about the language and innuendos and stuff, and like it kind of caught me off guard, but like I wasn't totally surprised by it, but I was also like, wow, I'm surprised that they could get away with this, but it was also 2009, so
yeah, it was definitely a little bit like at that time, like yeah, like you said, they could get away with it. I think it's just because like they worked the humor into it so well.
Yeah.
It like you're able to kind of like you're not like so appalled by everything that they're saying. You're able to kind of like just move through each joke that they make and like
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely a lot though. Like
It
it's
was.
definitely raunchy. It's definitely I don't know. Like
It's
they
not
just
something to
don't
watch when the
care.
kids are around. That's for sure.
No, it's not. No. No.
Yeah, because then Eric had a little cameo in it, and that surprised me a lot because Kari didn't tell me about that
Nope, I
before.
did not.
And I'm pretty sure that I texted her in all caps and I was like, I just got to that scene. Like, I'm not gonna spoil it for everyone because like if you want to check it out, by all means, go for
You
it.
really should.
Yeah, and then the bonus part of it was we got to see Eric's character in a lot of dress shirts, like a lot. And I need more of that for Tim Bradford, please. Like in some way.
And like in a suit too.
Yeah.
And like the dinner scene that they went to. Yeah. No, so good.
Now what I like, so I just thought about this. How did Colin, who was played by Eric, not catch on to Mike and Abby's like sexual tension?
I know. I was just gonna say that because I was like, because they
I mean,
have like
it's obvious.
yeah, they definitely have like they have good banter, and it's like I don't know if he just maybe thought it was just banter and they're just like witty or whatever, but
I mean, I guess he was really only around them in the corporate dinner scene.
That's true.
And but even then, like there was still banter. And then in the car while they were driving there, and like, I don't know. I'm just like,
Oh my
okay.
God, yeah. That car scene cracked me up so much. I don't know why.
The whole like the whole just act did. I was like, oh, okay, so we're going there. Yeah. So I highly suggest checking out the movie though. Like, yeah, it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah.
So then obviously we had to parallel it to Chenford scenes because we connect everything back to Chenford on this podcast. We are the House of Chenford. So yeah, I mean, you had noticed some parallels, right?
I did, yeah. I noticed a couple, like, well, it was literally like, because this was Jennifer's genius idea, right? So, like, I had no idea that we were doing like parallels, but I was like here for it. And so when I was watching something,
You're here for any parallel. Let's be real.
So, yeah, no, I am. It's true. Was like, there's this scene where they're talking to each other through like earpieces or whatever. And Mike said to Abby that like he figured her out in like a couple minutes, like within meeting her or whatever, just like who she is as a person and all that. And like that just reminded me of like, Tim and Lucy know each other so well on The Rookie. And yeah, so that was one little thing I noticed. It's kind of a little bit of a stretch, maybe not so much though, but like there's a job that is turned down in the movie and it's similar to Tim turning down the promotion for Lucy. It's it's like love or like feelings for someone, like taking priority over a job. And so that was something I noticed that kind of paralleled. Yeah. So those were just my like couple of ones, really. I don't know, because I didn't. Oh, you have way more than I. Okay. Well, now I'm interested to hear.
I don't know. I think some of mine are a bit of a stretch. Like my first one, I have when Abby leaves and she's like, "Thanks again for saving my life." Like when she's leaving Colin's house. And he's like, "Anytime." And I'm like, it's not a direct parallel to Chenford's like, "Thank you for what? Doing my job." And the Dave death stuff, but like it's still so good. And I would love that for Chenford. Like something similar to it, like "Thanks again for saving my life" or whatever. Like I'd be here for that. Yeah. So then I also said that the sexual tension between Mike and Abby somewhat reminds me of Chenford, like how it's more unspoken for them, but it's there at times. Like with Mike and Abby, it was more like we want to like be together, but yet we don't because I just don't like him. With Chenford, it's like it's obvious that they're in love. It's just like the other one needs to admit it,
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I was like, that's kind of parallel, but it's also a bit of a stretch. So go with me on that.
It works though, because it's like Mike and Abby's characters, like they are so like detached from like their own feelings towards the beginning, and then eventually they get their shit together. So hopefully Chenford will eventually get their shit together as well.
Right. Well, and Mike and Abby were more enemies to lovers, whereas Chenford is partners to lovers. So yeah. And then like I did love how Mike helped Abby get Colin to ask her out. Like some of it was reminiscent of Chenford because like, Tim helped Lucy get a Chris with or get a oh my god, get a date with Chris.
Yeah.
And she helped him get a date with Rachel and etc. And I was just like, they're kind of each other's third wheels. Like honestly, they are. They're like helping each other get dates. But then like also secretly in love with the person. And I mean, I noticed that after the one scene where Mike was hiding in the bushes and like watching them and he walked away and I was just like, the dude is starting to have feelings for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I just felt like it was kind of reminiscent of Chenford and like helping each other get their own dates. So
true.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I kind of pulled to this and like similarities to the characters of Abby seemed like she was kind of like Lucy, like more of the type A personality, not as Lucy's not as intense as Abby, but like type A, whereas Tim is somewhat like Mike, but then he is kind of also like more in control, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see it. It's just opposite. Like they're both like both of these ships are like opposite.
Yeah.
But they still work.
So. Yeah. Like I said, some of my parallels were stretches, but I was also like, go with it. Go with me on it. Like it's fine. And then next one, I think I had pointed it out to you, like you maybe didn't even like think about it or something. I don't know. But I was just like, Mike watching Abby from afar while she's on her date with the earpiece was like reminiscent of Tim or Lucy watching Tim and Rachel on their date. She just wasn't hiding in the car. She had the binoculars. And she wasn't like telling him how to act and stuff on the date.
True.
So yeah.
Although she was talking to Jackson and like questioning each other, like both of their every move though. So she kind of maybe could have been in a way. So
yeah. So then my last one, I was like, wow, this is the biggest stretch of them all, but okay. Was Mike like going back up to Abby's room after thinking about that kiss? Like even her thinking about it reminded me of 401 when Tim and Lucy were both thinking of the hug and she was like sitting on the couch and then like couldn't, just stop thinking about it. So she got up to go into his room or like knock on his door, and then he came out with the call. Kind of reminded me like it reminded me of that scene because like Colin comes to surprise Abby, and it, you know, like Abby and Mike were gonna do their thing and finally like get together, but then Mike was like, "Oh," no, or Colin was like, "Oh no, I'm here," and that was just kind of like Gray calling them and saying, you know, you guys got to come back to the station. So yeah, fun stuff.
Like
but
they were overthinking things, and then the overthinking got interrupted.
yeah,
So.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know, that those were all the parallels that I thought of. I was just like, what else can I draw parallels to? But also like Reach. So
Fair.
yeah.
Fair. We also had like, this was also Jennifer's fun idea of like a wish list for Chenford, like things from the movie that we kind of wish could somehow happen for Chenford as well. I just love like in any movie, regardless, like when a character like surprises another character by kissing them, like I want that for Chenford.
It's so good. It's so good when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like that satisfying like end, you know.
Yeah. And there is a dance scene. I mean, they're in a, well, it's not even really a club. I don't know why I said it's a club. It's like a bar, I don't know, dance hall kind of thing. Anyway, there's a dance scene regardless. And like, hi, we're still waiting for our Chenford dance scene. So
the dance scene was so perfect.
I would like
oh
a dance scene.
It was more than just like her hanging on to them and them like doing a slow dance. It was like
oh
he
yeah,
like
it was like
twisted her and all that.
Oh yeah, it was like charged and like super, you know, like fun and like flirty and yeah. And then I also just need Chenford like hanging out in a bar. Like when?
Just them or like all together?
Just them. That'd be fun. I mean, I'll probably get a group if I can at least get the group date that we should have had from a couple episodes ago. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would like Chenford just hanging out because you know, like the 213 scene that they had when they were just walking, like just something like that, like just off shift, like they're just hanging out. Like it doesn't even have to be in a bar, just like them hanging out. That would be fun. Make out scene, that would be good. I will pay all the money in the world though for whenever Chenford is a couple, one of them has to surprise the other with like a weekend away. Like I will pay all the money in the whole entire world.
I mean, it would definitely be Lucy surprising Tim with the getaway, the weekend getaway. I feel like.
Yeah.
And Tim would probably just drag his feet and be like, I don't want to go. And she's like, we're going someplace where you would really love it. And he does end up loving it. So
yeah.
It took everything in me to not say like just about every scene in this movie. I was like, can we just have Chenford in a rom-com, please?
That'd be so fun.
So they're like Mike, Abby, and Colin are at a baseball game. And like, I don't know, not so much of the entire scene, but like just the fact that they're at a baseball game. Like I would love to see it. Chenford on a cute date like that. Like, you know, it would like something where they don't have to be like very dressed up. Like it's very casual. And you know, they're just like she can be herself and so can he. Like maybe it's a football game then, like at the with the Rams, and like she, you know, it's just like I don't know what's going on. And so Tim has to like kind of coach her through it or whatever. That would be fun. Because then in the movie, like Abby and Colin were on the kiss cam for a different reason than it was to kiss. So I mean, if that could happen for Chenford and then they actually kiss, like, or Lucy just like does a cute little wave or something, like I would be here for that. Yeah. I mean, if anyone like also wants to write fanfics off of this, like, be my guest because I mean, I'm just like coming up with some Chenford date ideas here, and the writers can take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I also loved, like, I thought when Colin was tending to Abby's hurt ankle, I was like, can we see that for Chenford? Maybe she's not hurt or something, but like, I don't know. He was just so soft, and like she felt awkward, and it was just adorable, and
Mhm.
it was like the best scene. I don't know.
Yeah. Mhm.
We also saw that like Colin in this movie is a cat person, and I don't know, I wasn't like, like I was neutral about it. But like we need to see more of Tim as a dog dad. I know we have this season, but like Lucy also being around to witness it, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Because like when he first met the dog, and she was there, he was like, I don't just like a little like harsh with them with Kojo,
Mhm.
but I know that like she knows that he's warmed up to Kojo. So I would
Mhm.
just like to see Bradford, dog dad Bradford, and Lucy Chen just hanging out in the
Yeah.
park with Kojo or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else I just thought of now though is that like kind of a parallel is like when Lucy and Tim talked about okay, Lucy talked about it about like her eggs being frozen or whatever. Just
Yes.
like that like personal like aspect cuz like Abby and Mike talked about so many like I mean, it's sexual personal things, but
Yeah.
like, still just like very very like intimate details about their personal life and it's just like I don't know, like don't they'd have to I mean, cuz like I don't know, cuz the rookie does a good job at like balancing serious scenes with like comedy though, so maybe they could
Yeah.
have a personal scene in there that's like kind of ends up being a little bit fun for
For
Chenford.
sure.
That would be fun. Yeah. So
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I just want all of the Chenford scenes. Like they could make a spinoff of Chenford and I would just like take it all. I would
yeah.
like watch every minute of it. I would rewatch that probably like every week or like every month, something like that. I
Mhm.
would just I would enjoy the crap out of it.
Yeah.
So then my next wish list item, like I said, I quite a few. Was Chenford on like I don't know what you could classify this as. I guess like a picnic date. They were like I don't know, at a stream or something and then like
Yeah.
walked across rocks. It was kind of cute, but like they drove like in his convertible
Mhm.
and like, Tim doesn't have one, but they could rent one from like Enterprise or rent a
They just
car.
like go in his truck and like they could do like a picnic on like the bed of his or the what's it? That's a
Yeah.
bed of the truck, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Like the back.
They
Yeah.
totally could. They could take Kojo with them.
That'd be so cute.
Oh my gosh. Tomorrow, like, crashes
Camp
the
out.
date and she's like, hey guys, hey parents. Yes. Chenford camp out when?
There you
Because
go.
Lucy would probably not like it, but then totally like rock at it.
Yeah.
She'd be able to like do some awesome stuff. I don't know. But
They probably have a competition to see who would be able to build the fire first.
yeah. And then
And like
she
Lucy would knock it out of the park and Tim would be like, what the hell?
yeah. Yeah, Tim would be like, "Oh, I've got this in the bag." And Lucy's like, "What do you mean? I've got it done already." Like,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, even if they wanted to like go on like a picnic day or like a drive up in the hills or whatever, like they could rent a convertible. I would not like have any qualms about that. So, and then like in the movie, Eric's character like gave her like some food to try and we saw that she didn't like it. I would like that for Lucy and Tim, but opposite. Like she gives him food, even though she knows he won't like it, like the mushrooms. But she's like, I just want you to try it. Like, I
Yeah.
have a special way of cooking them that like, you
Mhm.
might like. So yeah,
That'd be cute. Yeah.
it would be. I would be so here for it. She builds the picnic basket, like builds the lunch, and it's just like I like made some of your favorites, and
Oh my god.
it's
That'd
just
be
like
so cute.
she just wants it to be like perfect. Like she brings like the best picnic blanket, like yeah. Again, I'm coming up
Yep.
with all these date ideas. Like someone please take them. Writers, fanfic writers, anyone. Yeah. And then I mean, I don't know. This one is just pretty like basic, but just Tim surprising Lucy with flowers at work. Like, please.
That'd be so cute.
I don't know. I mean, it would also be fun if like Chris did it and then Tim was there and like surprised her or like, you know, saw it and just got a little jealous.
Mhm.
But yeah.
That reminded me of Melissa's tweet from earlier today too.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
gosh. Yes. It was
Ew.
ugh,
Oh my god. Yeah, it's so fun.
yeah. She was like, if you haven't seen her tweet, which I mean, I hope you have, I don't know. Yeah, she was like, wrong answers only to the about wrong answers only regarding the person who would have sent me this. And it was like a bouquet of flowers and some Reese's and a card.
Mhm.
And yeah, we were all like, you know, Eric. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone was like, like talking about the actor. So Eric, Richard, Smitty, Kojo. Yeah. So
My vote was honestly, I seriously thought it was Nathan just because he always brings food for everyone on that set, like all the time.
yeah.
Oh,
And then it was Dylan. So that's fun. We love a good friendship like that.
mhm.
Yeah. So then I also put on my wish list Chenford going on a trip together, weekend getaway, literally anywhere. It could be, you know, in the next city. I would not care where it is.
Mhm.
And then the make out in the elevator. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I would want it in an elevator though. I would want it,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't think in an elevator.
I could see it though, like if they end up at a hotel and it's like the undercover thing, you know, and they like have to be all dressed up and fancy like that though, and they have to like make
What
out
if
for whatever
what if we
reason.
get what if we get our dance scene that way too?
There you go.
You know, because they
There
have
you
to
go.
like
Must
watch
be a
like
couple or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
the people are on the dance floor or
It's like a
something.
gala.
Hmm.
There you go.
We could have like all of these wish list items like in one episode
Done.
or like in one undercover stint.
Done.
Yeah, totally.
Easy done
The
for.
trip, the make out because they have to like play like they're a couple.
Yeah.
The you know, dance floor scene, the bar, like we could have all of this in one episode. Just make it Chenford though. Like we don't need, you know, Nolan. We don't necessarily need Lopez, Nyla, and James. Like just have it be Chenford. Chenford is undercover and they have to work
Yeah.
together on this case to make it. Yeah, that's it. I don't know, like I don't know how receptive I would be to this personally, but like a hot air balloon date for Chenford, like I just know Tim would hate like every part of it. He would hate being up that high. And Lucy would like love it, love seeing the scenery, love just like being up there. Um and he would like secretly love it too because like she loves it, but he would be complaining the entire time.
Yeah.
No doubt
Like
about
I feel like he would only be able to like really watch her watch everything else
it.
if
Yeah.
he's like having a time over it or something.
Yeah. And then I don't know, I put this on my wish list because like I can see it happening for Chenford. But I also just love when it happens like in anything is when one of the characters like just stops the other from like rambling on just to tell them like that they love them or you know kiss them or whatever. Like I just love when that happens. And I feel like Lucy would be the one rambling on and
Mhm.
Tim would stop her for
Yep.
sure. I feel
That's
like that's kind of a headcanon anyway. So
Mhm.
and that
Yeah.
could be part of the, you know, undercover stint that Chenford has. So yeah, why not?
There you go.
We don't have much show for this episode because it was just recapping the movie and like Eric was in it. He was one of the top like billed actors,
Yeah,
but
he was third build
yeah,
on the
but it
list.
was like more so focusing on Mike and Abby. So yeah, we just
But it
thought
was
it would be
really
fun
fun.
to cover
Yeah,
this.
Yeah, it was so different and just so fun. And just like you guys really need to like go watch the movie. Like, I don't know, because like I don't really like super, I mean, it's not like explicit, but like I'm not really a huge fan of like raunchy like
Yeah.
comedies like that. But it was like it's like just it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's just like it like they just like blend it so well together. It works somehow.
Well, and like, so you know how there's some movies where you can tell that it's really dated. This movie, it doesn't feel like it's very dated. I mean, some
Not really.
parts it kind of does, but like there it's not really dated at all. And I think that's where like it's it makes for a good rom-com that you can just watch like anytime. You know, it's not really like a Valentine's Day one.
No.
It's not dated, so you can literally watch it like in November if you wanted to, or you
Mhm.
know, in February. So
I mean, I think it came out in July, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
2009. So
So I mean, like it's just a good movie to like have on if you're just like kind of flipping through your Netflix queue and you're just like, oh, what else can I watch that I haven't already seen? So
mhm.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I know I'll be watching it again, like just for the laughs.
Mhm.
Because even when Abby meets Colin, that's a hilarious sequence. And
It
it's
really
I
is.
think honestly my favorite part of it. I don't know, it's just like because I know that if I was like in a rom-com, that would be something that would happen to like my character. Like for sure. Just
Yeah,
like
like,
the misfortunate event.
yeah, yeah. Like it's a little awkward, it's a little funny, little cute, little just it has a little bit of
Embarrassing. Yeah.
embarrassing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's kind of it for us. It's a short episode, but you know, we just kind of wanted to come on and do a special thing for Valentine's Day and a
Mhm.
hiatus. So we might do more of these actor specific episodes like in summer.
Mhm.
Because there are some shows that like, you know, the cast has been on together, like Eric and Makia were on what one show together?
And they had the mentalists, like those
Hmm.
episodes of the mentalist.
And then
Um,
like Eric and Jenna were on, which is we
which
done
is
together.
yep. Hmm.
Yeah. So we might cover some of that. But
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, you can find us at the Shop Talk Pod underscore or email us at shoptalktherookiepodcast@gmail.com with your thoughts. You can also find us individually on Twitter as well. I'm at jstark804.
And I'm at Kari Hyman.
And that's it for us. We won't be back with another new episode until March, like recapping the next new episode of The Rookie, which seems so far, like just because it's the 14th and
Right.
March starts on like 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it honestly won't be that far. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk to you guys then. Otherwise, we'll be on Twitter just creating all the best content, sharing the best content.
Yes.
This fandom is so talented.
Yes. And if you guys happen to like watch the movie too, like tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Send us all the gifts, all the reactions, all the I don't know. Do one of those like emoji thread things or whatever, you
Mhm.
know?
First
That's
watch
fun.
thread if you're a first watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Let us
For
know.
sure.
So yeah. Bye everyone.
Bye guys.
Go get him, boo.